All right, the AAC Championship, the American Conference Championship, Houston and Cincinnati. We've got Cincinnati 10.5-point favorites here, 54 the total. Again, this is going to be at Nippert Stadium here, home of the Cincinnati Bearcats this game. I'll tell you what, my Cincinnati, I went against them with SMU, and I did go against them again with East Carolina, and bad decisions. They win and cover both games. And look, Houston's going to be a very, very game opponent for Cincinnati. I mean, this is a good Houston team. Clayton Tune and the offense has been good. This is going to be one of the best defenses that Cincinnati's faced this year. But I think I'm counting myself out of the bet against Cincinnati business after the last 2 weeks. We know this team is now likely in the next rankings going to be in a playoff spot, in a top 4 spot after what happened over the weekend, especially with Ohio State losing to Michigan. That probably pushes Cincinnati into one of the 4 college football playoff spots. There's not only incentive to win, obviously, Conor, but if they can pile on a score or 2 at the end against Houston, they will absolutely do that, because this is one of the best teams on their schedule all year, Houston. I mean, this is a quality opponent here, the Cougars, and if they get that chance to not only win, but win by margin, I think they'll take it if you're the Bearcats. So yet at the same time, could I see Houston covering and maybe even shocking Cincinnati? Yes, believe it or not, I could see that happening, because Dana Holgerson's team's been solid, been stout, been sound for weeks now on both sides of the football. But after 2 weeks in a row of pounding my head against the wall with East Carolina and SMU taking them against Cincinnati, I'm not willing to go a 3rd straight week doing that. So it's probably going to be a pass for me, but I am looking forward to seeing this game. What do you think, C-Mac?
Yeah, East Carolina really blew it with a few things in that game. I mean, Cincinnati took care of business in the end, but just couldn't score. I like Houston as well, but I wanted 2 touchdowns. When I was thinking of this, everything laid out, going through everything, man, I wanted 13.5, 14, and I had a feeling I was going to get 11.5, 10.5. It is 10.5. So mine's just a lean to Houston. Cincinnati, the last 2 weeks, they finally, big wins over SMU and East Carolina, had that little funk in the middle of the schedule where they got by Navy and Tulane. They want to win big here. I mean, they're going to be hopefully in the playoff, but they want to have a huge win here at home. That's the only thing that holds me pause, because I think this Houston team's been great all year. Holgerson's done a great job. The defense has been played really, really lights out. So as much as I want to take Houston, I'm probably just going to pass here in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers for these 2 teams, and look, Houston actually offensively, they're right on par with Cincinnati, and defensively, believe it or not, Cincinnati's better yards per play, but Houston's defense is better total yards per game allowed. So that's why this is tough for me. I mean, Cincinnati wants to win and potentially win and extend by margin if they can, but Houston's talented enough, and I think matches up well enough to really be right there toe-to-toe for Cincinnati, with Cincinnati in this game.
A lot of the teams they played, similar type score, how they beat, the Tulsas and the Navies. So maybe 10.5 is enough. We'll see.
Yeah. It is. That's why it's a tough one for me to recommend either side, especially at the current number.